Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are here filling time, basically. I don't want to be gone for a whole month waiting on Moon Knight to come out. I wanted to at least have a couple of episodes of just, different things. Last week, of course, we did the Batman, which was really fun. There was like 10 people on, and we were talking about the Batman.
Nobody in the chat except for Matt.
Nobody in the chat except for Matt. Yeah. Appreciate, speaking of the chat, we've got Brian, who I know is always here for all the Star Wars stuff. So I'm glad Brian's here. Melissa's hanging out. She is in the best time zone, that being Central. She's hanging out in the Central. And then we've got Coach. What's up, Coach? Glad you guys are joining us. We're going to be doing something a little different. We're not talking about one specific show this evening. We are still talking what Gen Xers like myself call TV, but it's streaming shows, obviously, because we're sticking to the Disney Plus model and talking about some of the shows that we know are coming out in 2022 for Star Wars on Disney Plus, and then some that we're not sure if they're actually going to come out in 2022, and then maybe some shows that were announced that have no date whatsoever. So what I want to do first, a pretty massive trailer dropped last week, and Garrison and I were trailer lovers. We watch all the trailers. I don't know, any old school Deucecast listeners know that Pinky did not watch any trailers back in the day. He was like totally anti-trailer. In fact, if you were to go see a movie with Pinky back in the day, during the trailers, he would put headphones in and like crank up really loud music, like so loud that you could hear it coming
Good
from his
Lord.
head. So yeah, he took it very seriously. His trailers, this is what he would say, this is a quote from Pinky, that his trailers were the posters, like posters, movie posters and character posters and stuff like that were his trailers, which is interesting.
The interesting thing about that is, I think for most major franchises nowadays, the trailers are deceptive enough that I think you can watch them and be fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the bigger things, revealed to you that you don't want to see. I think No Way Home's a great example of that. If you watch those trailers, there's certainly things to get you excited, but the big stuff you don't really see on screen. So
yeah, I mean,
there are some smaller movies though that they show too much in the trailer.
They show like almost the whole movie. Yeah. I mean, if they're trying to, and that's a strategy, I'm sure, because they're trying to get people to actually come see their movie in the first place. So they kind of want to let you know what the major plot points are, who all the characters are, that type of thing. I don't know, but he's not as ornery as Rat. No. Pinky was just very much anti like knowing what's about to happen in the movie he's about to watch, so he didn't like to watch the trailers.
I think Aussie Nate has taken up that mantle, kind of.
Yeah, Aussie Nate. I think he said he'll watch some trailers, like some of the Disney Plus trailers, maybe, but maybe not for movies. By the way, Matt, hanging out again. What's up, Matt? I'm glad to see you there, man.
We shouted you out
we shouted you out right before you joined, so I appreciate you hanging out again. So let's talk about, and we may have a couple of people coming in later on, not sure what time. The general Star Wars crew might be showing up later.
Yeah, no, that's a good point by the
Coach. Yeah.
They not only showed the good action scenes, they also showed the literal the literal ending of the film, basically.
Right. Yeah, which was
the explosions, and I was like, I mentioned that when we were reviewing the trailer, I was like, this showed something from the third act they probably shouldn't have showed.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I gotta say, I loved the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer. It really brought me back to 1999 Star Wars, which is kind of a nostalgia point for me, at least from the Duel of Fates standpoint. That was a highlight. I mean, that's a huge highlight of Phantom Menace, is the Duel of the Fates. I loved when in the trailer they dropped that song in there, or dropped that music in there. Thought it was awesome. I was working at a Blockbuster Video when Phantom Menace came out, and at the time they would send VHS tapes of stuff that we were supposed to have on a loop in the store. And there was a behind the scenes Star Wars thing on this particular videotape that was John Williams conducting the London Symphony Orchestra doing Duel of the Fates. So I heard it all the time while I was working at that Blockbuster. And so, and got to see like John Williams conducting the orchestra. And because it was just one of those, like, here's what you're supposed to play for people. And I never got tired of it. I never got tired of Duel of the Fates. And I have heard it 5 billion times, not because I've seen the movie that many times, but because I was in that Blockbuster video and it played on that advertisement tape, looped all the time. So, and I still love it. Nick, what's going on? Coming hot off of an episode of podcast of the Wills.
That's right. That's
so
right. I tried to drag Scotty along with me, but he had dishes to do. So
the dog to wash, dishes to do.
Exactly. No, well, he's a more responsible young man than I was at 26 years old. So
yeah. Exactly.
But
we're just now getting to the Obi-Wan trailer, of course, and just talking about Duel of the Fates.
And I don't know if you said this already, but as soon as I came in and I heard you saying Duel of Fates, Duel of the Fates was on TRL on MTV.
Yes,
like the video for a John Williams orchestral music piece from a Star Wars movie made it into Total Request Live for 3 weeks at the point when that came out as like a popular thing.
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, Garrison, back when MTV played videos, they had a show called TRL.
I was 2 years old. Well, actually, when Phantom Menace came out, I was like 1.5.
1.5. Yeah. I think so.
Actually, to me, the thing that stood out, the first Star Wars CD I ever owned was Revenge of the Sith, and hearing Battle of the Heroes in that trailer. That's a track I literally played over and over and over and over again until my CD just stopped working. Because I was terrible with CDs and they're very easy to scratch.
and man, times were so innocent in 1999 because the big brouhaha at the time was people that bought the soundtrack, saw the track name, Qui-Gon's death,
Noble End.
or demise or death. I don't know exactly.
End.
Yeah, Noble End or something like that. And geez, I mean, I wish we were back in those times. I mean, that was such like a big brouhaha for that. I'm like, oh man. That'd be nice to just have to deal with that.
Wait until they find out the Star Wars novelization when that came out.
Right, exactly. People were probably writing into Fangoria complaining about that back in the day or whatever. Starlog. Yeah, that's what I couldn't pull Starlog, so I went with Fangoria has just been in my mind because on the Deucecast we've been doing a lot of Oscar-winning films, and one of the movies that we talked about won the Fangoria Chainsaw Award. So I just have Fangoria on the brain all of a sudden. But oh yeah, Matt. I mean, dude, the Pepsi cans. Yes, 100% yes. I collected the Pepsi cans,
and there is still a functional Phantom Menace Pepsi machine, like in Pennsylvania somewhere, that has a Twitter account. And people will post pictures of themselves like at that Phantom Menace Episode 1 Pepsi machine still to this day.
That's like the last Blockbuster. It's like the last Pepsi machine, the last Phantom Menace Pepsi machine.
The last TPM Pepsi machine.
That is hilarious. So Garrison, I mean, for you, highlights of the trailer. I mean, we're not going to break the trailer down because I do want to talk about some of the other stuff for 2022, but I mean, just your like overall thoughts of the trailer.
I think everyone's, I mean, I haven't heard a ton of breakdowns of the trailer, but I'm sure everyone's hit the music, very nostalgic prequels music. It was great seeing Obi-Wan. It was great seeing Ewan back as Obi-Wan, but also aged up. I mean, they didn't try to make him look kind of like he did back in the day. I liked that. Again, you could see he clearly has aged over the years. It'll be interesting when we get into the show. I wonder if there will be any flashbacks, especially with Hayden on set. Will we get any looks that we haven't seen at those two previously?
I'll speculate and say that I think we will definitely get some flashbacks.
I mean, I feel like it would be a waste to just get Hayden for like a helmet taking off scene or a
right
to be under the
and
costume.
I go back to, and was it the Variety article, the one that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago?
It was, yeah.
Ewan said specifically the way he worded it was Anakin and scenes with Anakin and Obi-Wan, not scenes with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, which I took that to mean there is going to be some version of, and like, I mean, again, the thing that makes the most sense is flashbacks. But
maybe a dream
where, it could be a dream.
Now that could be
a vision.
Yeah, that could be. I didn't think about that.
So that's how I interpreted that, the intentional use of that character name, not Darth Vader, to be that we'll get some non-helmeted Hayden.
Yeah, and you've got to, I mean, not that Hayden wouldn't be like above, like coming back just to be Darth Vader.
Oh yeah.
But I think like an actor of his caliber, and I know he hasn't been in a lot or whatever, but I think with an actor of his caliber, he can pull off being Anakin again. And
absolutely.
And so yeah, I mean, I'm so thrilled. Scotty, what's up, buddy?
Otherwise, you just throw John Wayne's kid into another costume and keep rolling with it.
Right, exactly. You'd find another aged Hollywood star's grandkid to throw into the suit. I loved the rumors of that WWE wrestler Sheamus was supposed to have maybe been Darth Vader at some point during the Rogue One sessions, but it didn't end up being him. So,
and so that begs a question that I've thought about, and I really haven't read anything. So if I have, as usual, Ryfin will have found it and beat me to the punch. Has there been any scuttlebutt for? Obviously, we know we're going to get Vader. We saw that EW picture of him coming out of like the chamber or whatever. Has there been any scuttlebutt about James Earl Jones for the voice? That's a big...
I'm hoping. I'll be honest. He sounds weaker. You can hear it when he does the voice, but I would still much prefer that to a guy who is a copycat.
Because didn't he do it for Rogue One?
He did. Yeah. And here's the deal: as long as the man is still alive, do it. Just let the guy do it.
I mean, what I'm saying.
if he's able, bring the studio to him and let him do it from his house.
Peter Cullen is still Optimus Prime. James Earl Jones is still Darth Vader. Like,
exactly. I mean, I think, I mean, just let the guy do it until he unfortunately passes away. I mean, it's just kind of what you do out of respect in a way for that.
And they did that with Peter Mayhew. Even in Solo, he couldn't do obviously the stand-up stuff and the stunt stuff, and you had Eunice for that. But like, he was there. He was, he did the things that
on
he
set,
could do.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to do that. I think that really is, a paying homage kind of situation to like, this is the person who built this. Let's give them the opportunity because they have.
Go ahead. James Earl Jones is Darth Vader. I mean, there's lots of different guys in the costume, Prowse and the stunt guy, but Anderson.
It's not the green cross code man.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, let's address this. So this article came out, I think, just today. So I haven't really had a chance to really deep dive into this whole, did they have Darth Maul come in and then reimagine things and pull Darth Maul out of it? Sure, that could have happened because we do know that there was that point where they were supposed to start filming. Like, they may have even started filming and then decided to just retool and rewrite the scripts altogether with different people, I think. So yeah, I mean, maybe that happened.
I'm very interested in maybe how careful with the language they maybe could have been more. Because I'd be very interested to see if that article was written differently, how guys like Pablo would have reacted to it, where maybe like Darth Maul was a part of the idea for the show, but then there was things in the article that said maybe he shot something, that kind of, if they leave that out, does it maybe not get a reaction back from those guys?
Oh yeah. I mean, because he did, Pablo did of course react to it a little bit today, didn't he? He was saying, so, and you're right. Maybe if they had written it a bit differently, he would have felt like he didn't have to say
I just have a hard time personally believing that Hollywood Reporter would run with something that they don't have at least some basis for.
Yeah.
And there was so much kind of up and down, back and forth, confusing stuff with Ray Park, with the little, the Instagram controversy and
oh goodness,
that stuff that happened in and around those moments,
right?
So it could have been that early on, there was some version of something they wanted to do. Could have also been flashback. Could have also been something else, but So yeah, I mean, especially for Hollywood Reporter, it seems like they would have had enough of a leg to run on at least some part of a story. But you also get somebody like Pablo who chimes in and goes, "Yeah, what are we talking about here?"
Yeah.
And not from his public facing account. It was from the private account that he has,
right,
that got screenshotted and put out there. So
Always gets
there was some frustration behind that, as far as some of that goes.
What's going on, Jeff? Thanks for joining, man. For the record, I mean, as far as the Ray Park stuff, the Deuce Cast is okay if we forgive Ray Park. He was going through a rough time. The only guy we don't forgive is Roman Polanski. But we'll forgive Ray Park. It was a tough time in his life. That's the official position of the Deuce Cast. Yeah. Well, Ray Park, you're fine if they bring him back eventually. I think they will in some, because there's so much stuff going on with Crimson Dawn. And I mean, I think the guy is coming back either in an animated series voice or live. I mean, they're not going to, especially if the rumor is true that he was on set at some point. Obviously, Lucasfilm has brought him back. Even if they didn't go with, that particular storyline for Obi-Wan. I mean, it is what it is.
And what we know too is that they brought him back for Clone Wars season 7, and he was in the mocap suit in the lightsaber battle with Ahsoka, which is still one of my favorite things that they've done in modern Star Wars.
So
to have him and Lauren Mary Kim in mocap suits doing those actual sword fights. Because if you had followed him on Instagram for any period of time before that, and if you missed the saltier bits, spicier bits, those moves that you would see him practicing in those Instagram videos, those are the moves that you see an animated Darth Maul do in season 7. That jump, kind of stutter 2-hit thing that he does.
Yeah.
And so I love that they did that to add that sense of realism to the animation. And again, it gives him a chance to come back and be involved in some way, whether it has to be in this series or not. I don't need in fact, I don't want, and I don't say this about Star Wars very often, and actually I think I've said it on the show before, I don't want a live action reenactment of the Twin Sons Rebels episode.
Correct.
I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't think they
so
need
beautiful.
To. Yeah.
It's so well done. And also the thing that I think Pablo and Steven Stanton were tweeting about earlier this week about that episode. Like, that's a beautiful 2.5 minutes of Star Wars, period.
100%.
The final, Maul, Obi-Wan, sorry, Garrison,
I know.
Rebels moment.
You've seen that.
Yeah. I mean, look, it gets recommended to me all the time on, YouTube and stuff like that.
I should know better at this point. I just have to say it anyhow.
I mean, we're talking about an animated series, and I said I tweeted something. None of my tweets ever gain any traction whatsoever, but I'm so tired of dude that comes out and tweets that it's a cartoon. And yes, I'm tired every time Rhett says that. I'm tired every time Rhett says that. I don't care, because he says it as often. And I know he does it just to get under my skin, but still, I'm just tired of people thinking that there is anything less in animation than live action. I mean, animation can be just as emotionally resonant.
A lot of times you can do more in animation.
Totally.
I was going to say, the ability to expand the story with something like animation makes as much of a difference as anything else does.
Yeah. Whoa. That's a first time appearance by Mrs.
That is a
Milky
first time
herself.
appearance.
I love that. That's exciting.
That's right. Get the behind the scenes footage over here.
That's right. That's exactly. I mean, look, that's what I look at like every evening as well when I put my mask on before I go to bed. So I know what she's doing. But anyways, what is this? Yes, exactly. So Garrison, sorry, I interrupted your official response to how you feel about the trailer.
Oh, that was so long ago.
I know, it was a long time ago.
I think I was pretty.
You let me show up and I just start saying things and you don't get to talk.
I think that was pretty much done. I like seeing Sung Kang. It's great seeing him in Star Wars. He's playing one of the
fifth
brothers.
brother.
Yeah. I'm trying to get through Rebels. One day.
Yeah.
I'll learn
So
about
you're so where are you in Rebels as far as
episode 8, season 1?
Okay, so you're still in season 1.
I haven't had a lot of
Rebels.
time lately. Yeah.
Okay. No, I understand. Look, you're a college student. I totally understand.
Look.
Don't
college classes, work, you meet a girl,
well, there is that. Once that happens, then it really changes. But yeah, I mean, all the Inquisitor stuff, I am excited that we get to see more of the Inquisitor stuff. I don't know if I originally would have said I'm excited to see it in live action, because those characters do translate very well in animation, and you can do a lot of different things with them in animation. And so it'll be interesting to see how they translate in the form of live action. Fetmatic, what's up, brother? I knew Fetmatic would be doing a rewatch because he's the man. So he's
all the good ones
3.
too.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I like Minnie when it comes to the Grand Inquisitor. Am excited about the actor that is portraying the character, because Rupert Friend is an outstanding actor. I've seen him in enough things that I know the dude can pull it off.
Yeah.
And makeup be damned, in my opinion. I mean, you've got a stellar actor in that role. So
we're about to start a flame war in here.
As far no flame war, because here's the deal: you had Jason Isaacs as the voice, and he's outstanding. Maybe the dude just wasn't available, or they wanted to go a different way with it. Maybe they needed a guy just a little bit younger because there's going to be some action sequences, and Jason Isaac maybe just wasn't up for it. Maybe he was busy doing something else. Who knows? But they've got a great actor in the role, so that's all that I really.
I'll say something more controversial.
Please do. No, that's fine.
I wish it looked a little more like the other live action versions we've seen of the race, but if they tell me that they needed to do this because of stunts and other issues that happen when you put that probably prosthetic on them, I'm totally accepting of that. I can suspend disbelief on that. So
here's the deal. I mean, Bruce Spence was just like standing and talking.
Right. Yeah.
Dude wasn't doing anything. I mean, he was just like moved his head around a couple times, said some words. We didn't see Bruce Spence do any action sequences.
Yeah. That's my point. That's what I'm saying.
So I know.
Yeah.
I'm just, trying to.
Especially if you have the potential for a helicopter saber to fly somebody up in the air.
100%. Yeah. Which, maybe you do have John Wayne's grandson do that, but still, same difference. I mean,
yeah, it doesn't ruin the show for me. I just did it. At first, it looked a little weird to me. I was like, "Who is the? Oh, it's the Grand Inquisitor." I just met this guy in Rebels.
Yeah, that's cool. That's so cool that you're like just now watching the Grand Inquisitor for the first time. Dude, there's so many things that I wish I could rewatch for the first time, and Rebels is one of them. I mean, it's just like there's a list a mile long. I'm unfamiliar with case histories. I will take that to heart and look that up, Brian, because I know you have good taste. So I will look up case histories. I'm series. Or it could be like he's a host of a BBC show, because I know Brian likes a lot of BBC stuff. So
that's a British crime drama.
Oh, it's a crime drama. Okay, so I thought maybe it was a documentary or something. I will look that up. I like Jason Isaacs a ton, so that's cool. Nick.
Yes, sir.
In 5,000 words or less, how did you feel about the trailer?
Do you know how long 5,000 words?
I
was saying that's
why I threw that really high number out.
He knows better. Yeah. Again, who hasn't already picked this trailer apart scene by scene?
We're not here for all that.
A couple of points. I'm with you with Rupert Friend, and I'll be honest, and I watched the trailer a bunch when it came out. I probably watched it like 8 or 10 times that day, off and on, since last week. Saw it today because I clicked on an article for something else, and it was supposed to be Obi-Wan or Ewan McGregor critiquing Obi-Wan's haircuts over the years for like Hollywood Reporter or something else, Variety probably. And instead, when I clicked play, it just played the trailer again. So of course I watched the trailer again. Every time I watch it, as much as I love Jason Isaacs and what he did in Rebels, I get more sucked in by the voice, by Rupert Friend delivering these lines. Like the first time the trailer dropped and people were like, that's not scary. It doesn't sound like Isaacs, but like, no, it's kind of scary. Like
there's
definitely
scary.
A detached, psychosis,
emotionless,
something going on there.
Mm-hmm.
With that design. And I said it Saturday on Streaming Star Wars, like, I'm going to be the old man, get off my yard about this. I don't care if you don't like his head. Like, go do something else. Go play in the yard. Go whatever. I will say the one easy change they could make, and they could do this at post-production at any point, is give him the yellow eyes.
I knew exactly.
Harrison's on it.
Yeah.
The yellow eyes make all the difference.
Yep.
They could do that. Yeah.
It would be the easiest thing to do.
Overall, I'm super excited about it. I mean, how can I not be excited about it? Like, it really is.
Yeah.
And I will say, and Jeff's right, Rebels is gold.
Yep.
The big thing, and somebody else said this earlier in the chat, I missed it, so I'm sorry if I don't shout you out. I'm really excited about the Joel Edgerton, Uncle Owen aspect of this, because he got a lot of FaceTime in this trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have the potential to set up with this story why he's so pissy about Obi-Wan Kenobi in episode 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That old man's just a crazy old wizard. Like, they've been through some stuff, and we're going to find out what they've been through, because he's in the town square and he's there with Raya, however we're going to, pronounce Reva. I'm sorry.
Reva.
However that's going to go. I love that scene where she cuts him off, slides across, and then the saber shoots out.
Mm-hmm.
That appears to be him.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to get the backstory on why Owen and Owen and Obi-Wan's relationship is the way it is. That's really exciting to me.
Yeah.
Which years ago, I didn't know that I'd be excited about an Uncle Owen story in Star Wars, but here we are.
Well, I mean, huge shout out to George Lucas in this case for casting Joel Edgerton back in the day in '99, when he was kind of like a nobody back then, and he is revered as an actor now. And so for him to come back, I think he's going to bring a lot to the character. And it's really going to be cool. And I hope he is in it a lot. I hope we get a lot of Uncle Owen stuff. I would 100% watch an Uncle Owen series, limited series. I don't care. I mean, at this point, give me all the weird limited series. I'm in for all of them.
It will be also an interesting, and it won't matter to people that don't know this story, but I love that they're also bringing back Bonnie P.S. as Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
Because of what she has gone through in her real life.
Good grief.
If y'all haven't watched that HBO documentary about what was the cult called? The
Nexium.
She was involved in that somehow?
Yes.
Yeah, she was. Not Nexium. That's a drug of some type. I don't know what it was called.
I know what you're talking about.
It's the same one that what's her name from Smallville was involved in.
Yeah, the one that she's in. The small girl, she's in jail. Yeah.
But Bonnie P.S., who played Aunt Beru, was also a part of that whole cult and documentary. I think it's on HBO. It's a really good documentary.
It is on HBO.
And so she's in it, but she gets to be back. And that also reminds me, we get that graphic that came out like a year ago with all the casting stuff. And so, of course, I caught myself comparing that to the trailer going, okay, there's that person. We don't know about Kumail yet. We don't know about O'Shea Jackson Jr.
This is exactly what I was going to say.
There's a couple of, we get Indira Varma coming down the ramp as the Imperial officer.
I saw her.
So we get most of that graphic, but there's a couple of question marks that are still out there that I can't wait to see.
I don't think we have Benny Safdie yet.
And we don't have Benny Safdie. So, I mean, obviously,
all the time now.
The droid they showed is going to be one of those three actors. I thought I heard somebody say O'Shea Jackson Jr. was the droid's voice, but I don't know. The big tall droid that had if you read the Arabesh, it says the name of the droid or whatever.
It says Ned.
Ned, which is awesome. That's a great droid. That's very Futurama sounding to me, but I mean, other than that, that's fine. But so Kumail, he's been doing a lot of voiceover acting, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's Kumail's voice as Ned, and that almost is a bit fitting. But if it's O'Shea Jackson Jr., fine. If it's Safdie, fine. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing those guys on screen though, in live action form, not just voice, but. Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting. I didn't know he was on set. Yeah, he normally wouldn't be if they were doing voice, but okay. Well, that's interesting then. What's wrong?
Unless they were doing some weird version of the.
Did you say something about this, Garrison? Or Jacob? Jacob.
Do you think I'm Roth?
I got it confused.
What is going on here?
My bad. My bad.
Me?
Yeah, my bad. My bad. I got distracted by what was going on in the chat.
And that documentary is called The Vow, by the way.
The Vow, yeah. That's my wife watched it because she's into all that type of stuff and those weird documentaries like that. I have not watched it. Heard it was good though. So let's put a pin on Obi-Wan because we know that's starting May 25th. Garrison, I know you took some notes of some of the shows that we know are coming. So let's sort of go through the list and just, stuff that we know is supposed to happen in 2022. And then all of a sudden, maybe there's some question about some of these things happening in 2022.
I'd say there are only two other things that I would say are confirmed for 2022, and maybe that's even off. We'll see.
We'll see.
I would say Andor and Bad Batch Season 2. I would say those two things happen, and that'd be 4 Star Wars projects in 1 year, which is great because you'd have Boba Fett, Kenobi, Andor, and then Bad Batch Season 2. Whenever those again come out, I know Bad Batch was in the Insider said it was coming out in spring, but I don't.
Today there was a weird. I read something today that says it's been delayed,
and apparently that's been removed from the website.
Okay, good.
Insider.
Okay.
They've updated.
The advertisement was removed. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Wherever it was before, because Pete did that 2 weeks ago, I think, on Disturbances in the Force, that it had been updated or removed. So, because that was the question that we all had was, if you're saying spring,
right,
but we have a date for Kenobi, there was literally like a 1 to 2 week window where if you did it now, you could fit it in between, but there was no pub, there was no, anything ahead of time.
Yeah.
So it seemed like that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, so with animation, it takes longer than people would think. I mean, to get
especially when you work from home a lot of the time too, which I'm sure for both these seasons they've done a lot of work at home.
Right.
I know it does slow down production, even if it's probably preferred by some, but
right. And that gives you just more time to make it look completely awesome. I mean, I know Joel Aaron was he has always done a lot of like the background effects on the animated shows. In fact, I think he celebrated his 30th anniversary at Lucasfilm today, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And the stuff that he did in season 1 of Bad Batch was gorgeous, just stunning animation. And so maybe it just needs a little bit more time. I don't know. I mean, so if it gets delayed, that can only mean good things for animation because it gives you more time to tinker with it and work on it. I would love to see it this year. And I think the assumption was that we would see it this year. Maybe it'll be a 4th quarter thing. I don't know.
I need more Omega in my life.
Omega, just so I can hear Earl say it.
And I'm trying to remember where I saw it or heard it, but there was a news story that said when season 2 comes out that there would be a time jump and that she would be older.
Interesting. Okay.
Not okay. I don't know if significantly, but so that it was mentioned in the story. Also, and I just saw this right before I started my show a little bit ago, but before I got on with you guys. Had you seen that there's a rumor that Kenobi is going to drop in the evenings on Wednesday?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
I haven't seen anything founded for that, but I didn't know if you had any further information.
The problem to me, just with that thing, was when I was looking it up, that was the only source I could find.
Right,
that one tweet.
So
97
I'm still
Bravo.
waiting.
Yeah.
Same. And honestly, I don't want that to be true because I don't have to wait all day.
I would love it if it were Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Right.
That would be so great for me in my sleep schedule.
Not great for the Juicecast Extra. We'd have to change our schedule.
You're
and it also brings up. It also brings up what we were in with Loki and Bad Batch, because at this point we're going to be into by the time Miss Marvel starts.
Yeah,
I would love to get back to Wednesday Marvel, Friday Star Wars.
It'd be awesome.
One, spread it out during the week. Give me some stuff to look forward to. Don't pile it all on me at one time.
Agreed.
But you know, I'm going to be happy whenever I get it. I just hope that it's in the morning, not at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason that I thought that maybe there may be some truth to it is at least starting June 8th, 2 shows dropping at 2 a.m. I don't know if that causes them any issues as far as bandwidth is concerned.
Sure.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I remember, I guess, whenever Mandalorian was first dropping, at least I was having some bandwidth issues with it. Like it wouldn't start quite right, or it was messing up. But it seems as if they've solved all of those issues. But if you're having an MCU show and a Star Wars show drop at 2 a.m. Central, who knows? I don't know. Maybe it
makes the bandwidth easier because it's 2 different shows. And
who knows how all that works?
Servers, or
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean to derail. It just
but that's a valid conversation. Yeah, I mean that's certainly something that HBO does for their broadcast shows. They always drop around, like the big ones are always the ones in the evening. Right. And subsequently you do have to wait on HBO Max for that to drop. But it's a different story.
As we were talking about, HBO does that because it premieres on a television channel.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
people still have those? What are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why do I have to wait and watch Succession till 10 o'clock? It's very frustrating.
This is when I become Veruca Salt. I want it now.
Exactly. For me, I'm just like so used to the 2 a.m. thing. I don't know.
It's 3 here. Stinks.
Yeah. Well, and we've established that the Eastern time zone is the worst. So
no, it is not.
It's unequivocally the worst.
No, it is not. It's the best for college football, in my opinion. But anyway.
Well, now that could be. That could be. Depending, unless you're a fan of Pac-12, and then you'll be watching a game.
I hate to live on the West Coast because we wake up at 9 a.m. and the games are starting. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Nobody needs that.
Nobody needs that. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, Andor, let's talk about that. I mean, I am very excited for that show for a couple reasons. I mean,
yes,
it's one of those things that you go in, do we need this story?
Sorry, we're all laughing at Roth and Mountain Time.
I'm laughing at Roth a little bit, but I'm also laughing at a message I sent Mikey earlier from one of my friends about Andor. But
yeah. This friend of his, I don't
wait a minute, wait a minute.
Is he going to watch this at some point?
Let me be fair to my friend.
Okay.
He does not watch Star Wars. So we were talking about Moon Knight, and he was like, "Yeah, Oscar Isaac's got Andor and Moon Knight coming out this year." I was like, "Oh no, how do I tell him it's Diego Luna?"
It's a different guy.
Yeah, it's a different guy altogether. I mean, as far as I know, if they're doing anything right now, it's post-production stuff. So, I mean, just making it look pretty and ready to release. But I'm excited for the character. I do think the character's cool. I'm excited for the practicality of what it sounds like the shoot was. There wasn't anything in the volume. It's all practical built out sets. I think we even saw some of that way early last year. People had
we saw Investor Day stuff on December 2020.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There was some behind the scenes, or not even behind the scenes. There was a little bit of a trailer of some, or it was behind. It's one of those, like, what do they call those, sizzle reels? It was like the sizzle reel thing, and I love those. I wish they would do more of those.
Do we know where they shot it?
England.
Okay,
it was in England because that's where all those set photos were coming from. Was England. So.
We've already had some things ruined by Stellan Skarsgård in interviews about the show. They need to go ahead and release it.
Yeah, they do need to release it. Well, it's been so long now. Like I'm totally forgetting what you're even talking about.
He talked about. I guess I just.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know. I mean, it's been so long. Okay, so yeah, Pinewood. I mean, this is
Pinewood in England.
In England. Well, there's no Pinewood in Atlanta anymore.
There's not anymore. You're correct.
Yeah, some different company that owns that now. So I'm very excited just for the potential of that. So now I'm bummed, and I don't know if it's just a big swerve and they're going to surprise us, but I was bummed when Alan Tudyk said K2SO wasn't going to be in it.
Yeah, that was a bummer to me as well. But he also kind of did it in that very, like, almost winky kind of, like, yeah, maybe not this season. Like, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Not that I expect necessarily there's going to be more than one season of Andor. Although it hasn't been advertised as a limited series, specifically the way Obi-Wan has.
Although Kathleen Kennedy was like, maybe there will be a season 2. So,
Hey, it's all about them dollars, baby.
I'll take the.
Yeah, I'll say, throw some more money at Ewan. Let's roll. I'm not scared.
Exactly. Back up the Brinks truck. But
K2 and Alan Tudyk is such a key part of the Rogue One experience for me personally that.
Oh, I agree.
I just, I would, even if they end, obviously there's a way for them to, like, end the series with him finding him and reprogramming him and getting some kind of closing thing. But
and it definitely was Roth because he came out on stage.
He came out
Kathleen
on stage,
Kennedy.
absolutely.
Yeah. So no, it definitely was announced back when the show was announced. So, Roth. Oh my gosh, Rifen. I don't know what is happening.
You could have played that off. You could have played that off.
This is Nick being on the show and
like Roth responded to a comment or something. But
yeah, exactly. So Rifen. Who else is in the cast? Do you have the cast list pulled up?
I guess I'll talk about some.
I have it right here.
Stellan talked about Forrest Whitaker is going to be in the show.
Oh,
That's one thing he talked about in an interview in his home country.
Is that even still announced in any official way, or
no?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You got Stellan Skarsgård. Looks like Fiona Shaw. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Looks like Mon Mothma is going to be in it. I don't remember the actress's name.
Genevieve O'Reilly.
Yeah, Genevieve O'Reilly.
There's a lot of names, and I feel really bad because I scribbled them on here and I cannot read them.
That's right. I've got IMDb pulled up, so I'm along behind you. Alex Lothar, Harry Anton, Denise Guff, Goo, like Robert Goo, Robert Ems, Kyle Soldier, Mark Hockley, Max McCabe, Tony McCarthy, Charlie Parker Swift, Dominic Wetherill, and some of these are like Mud Trooper, Docker, Prisoner. So we've gotten some kind of specific characters, but the top of the list is Diego Luna, Anton Valenci as Den, D-E-N.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Adria or Jonah, and then Stellan Skarsgård, Fiona Shaw, Genevieve O'Reilly.
I thought. Wait a minute. I thought. I can't remember his name. Dadgummit. He was in Rogue One. Organa. Oh gosh, I can't remember.
Bail Organa.
Oh,
yeah, I thought Bail was in
Jimmy Smits.
Yeah, I thought he. I guess
it's possible, but this is just what they've got listed here.
Yeah. I for sure thought Jimmy Smits was in it.
Space Jimmy Smits.
Like Kenobi, maybe
he is rumored for Kenobi.
Yeah.
Oh,
that may be what you're thinking about.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I knew I had heard his name thrown around at some point.
I think this show probably will get a couple seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I want the ultimate end of this show to be him heading to that alley.
Oh, you want it to lead right up to Rogue One?
I know that some people don't like that kind of stuff, but I would love for him to be getting like a transmission to head to that alley or whatever.
Oh, with the dude that he ends up shooting before he climbs out.
Yes.
Interesting.
I would love for that to be the ultimate end of the series.
Well, it would be fitting because Rogue One leads right up to A New Hope. So it would be fitting to have this series lead right up to Rogue One. So have it be one. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be interesting at least, but no clue what story.
It has to make sense within the confines of the story, and if you can't make it work, don't force it in there. But
yeah. I need Aaron Kellyman back at some point as Enfys Nest. Like, this character is a character you shouldn't just leave and be one and done with, in my opinion.
I feel like the problem is, though, I mean, she's supposed to be like a shock character. Like, you're supposed to be shocked that it's a younger girl in the costume.
Okay.
And for the time frame.
Yeah, no, I don't.
She's in Solo.
Yeah.
And then with Rogue One, obviously Rogue One ends up right into New Hope. So Solo's before that. So you're right. Like, there is room in between those two places to have an overlap.
But how big of a character is she in the universe?
Right. I was thinking that she was supposed to be part of like what started the rebellion is what we were supposed to think.
And that's what it felt like in Solo. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Solo.
I mean, because she talked about her mom at some point. I mean, yeah, it's been a minute for me. I mean, I've watched it a few times. I've got it on 4K, so I do watch it often because it actually looks really good on 4K compared to the experience that I saw it in the theater, which was not great.
Big flex for all those physical media buffs out there.
Sorry,
I also own it on 4K, by the way.
There you go.
I think it's the only Star Wars movie I own on 4K.
Well, that's what they're doing on Star Wars Minute, the podcast right now. So that's what I'm listening to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. That's a cool movie to do that for, actually. A lot of stuff happens in that. So, I mean, really the only other show that we thought we knew was coming out in 2022 was Bad Batch, but even now there's some question there. There's a couple of things floating around. So I guess over the weekend, on the Convor Call, which is another podcast and YouTube, mostly a YouTube show. They had a charity event for Ukrainian orphanage, and the Kiners were on there. So Kevin Kiner and his two sons do a lot of the work on the animated series as far as the scores are concerned. They dropped, like, I don't know if they were supposed to, but they dropped that they were working on the score for an upcoming animated series and using a full orchestra.
Yes.
And the way that he was talking was that it wasn't a previously announced animated show.
Correct.
So the only thing, and I sent this to Rife, and the only thing that I could come up with was maybe that Tales of the Jedi thing. We saw a logo for it. At some point, either earlier this year or late last year, we saw like a logo for it.
Right.
So that's the only thing that I could come up with. Any speculation on your part, Nick?
Not especially. And of course, the other thing that came out of that, I think, in that interview was they said something to the effect of it was a style unlike anything else we had seen before, which is a kind of bold statement to make, considering we're coming on the heels of Visions, which was a completely, outside the box stylistic. And when you look at the kind of the broad range of Star Wars animation between Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, Vision, I mean, Bad Batch for the most part lines up with Clone Wars as far as style goes. That's a widespread. So then you go, well, if we're talking about something we haven't seen before, where are we going with that? The only thing that stood out in my mind for the briefest of seconds was the logo that we got in the Investor Day 2 years ago for the Taika Waititi Star Wars thing. That was that like almost looked like the Schoolhouse Rocks logo. It was cracked and it was like teal and whatever. But I want Taika to do a live action
action.
So I don't want
it's supposed to be a feature. So
and so.
Not that the Kiners couldn't do a feature, but
but they specifically said animation in that interview. I don't know. I have no idea where it's going, but I'm always excited about surprise projects. Like that's just kind of like a fun, like, ooh, something we haven't all lost our minds speculating on too much. Now that we will, though, because they mentioned it out loud.
Exactly.
The Tales of the Jedi would be an interesting one. It's a comic book that was created by Tom Veitch, who just recently passed away.
Right.
But it was a pretty popular one in the EU at the time. And I'd actually be very interested in seeing something like that and exploring kind of the history of Jedi that we don't know. And again, random faces, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd be very, I don't know if they'd go along the same lines of the comic book, which I could just grab from right over there. It's not that far away. But yeah, I'd be very interested to see what they do with that here at theatrical.
No, not this year.
Sorry. I thought we were talking about the Taika stuff.
Oh, the Taika stuff. Yeah. Is certainly,
it's supposed to be.
It would be. I don't think they'd put a Taika Waititi movie on Disney Plus. Not that he's below that.
Putting a Zemeckis movie on Disney Plus.
Well, never mind.
I know.
Never mind. I won't. But yeah, I mean, so and then the other thing, and I mean, not to take up all the time on just these two shows, they activated out of nowhere the Droids: A Star Wars Story or Tales of the Droids or whatever they're calling it. They activated that Twitter account.
Yes.
That was something that had been announced on that big, huge investor day in 2020. That then went dark. Like we didn't hear anything about it. We thought it was completely dead. And then all of a sudden they activated the Twitter account. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, what is it? This must be
a character from Tales of the Jedi.
I was going to say this has to be a Tales of the Jedi because I have not read a sentence of that before. So that's interesting. So yeah, it could be the droids thing, but do you put Kinders on a one-off? Because the way I felt about that droids thing when I saw it the first time is that it was maybe just going to be like a holiday special or something. It just felt like this is a one-off thing. They're not going to do a whole series of C-3PO and R2-D2 hanging out. I mean, maybe they would, but I just felt that when I saw it, I felt like this could be a Christmas special or a holiday special or something like that.
Along the lines of like the Lego stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's my mind went there when I saw it first announced. So I would venture to say that we're going to get more than just Andor. There's gonna be something else, and I know we're saying 4 in 1 year would be a lot, but I just feel like I feel like we're gonna get something else this year, and maybe it is that droid thing, and it's just like a couple episodes or one episode. Who knows?
Absolutely. Well, and of course, the ace that they have in their back pocket, which is also relevant to today, is Star Wars Celebration is in at the end of May.
Yes.
So
yes,
the ability to drop a third or fourth quarter release, something we haven't heard about, something we haven't talked about, that's the prime opportunity for them to do. I have a thought about that too, Brian.
Okay.
But I think with Celebration coming up, we have Kenobi, which literally drops the day before Celebration starts.
Which is maddening to a lot of people.
I would say all the people that I know personally that are traveling to California on that Wednesday are like, what the hell? Like, I have to download it before I get on the plane, or, they're trying to figure it out. At this point, if it's going to drop at 7:00 and I'm going to be home, I'm good either way. But
now I wonder, that does make a little sense then. If they're going to do the 10 p.m. thing, that would be 7:00 on the West Coast, I guess. Interesting, because I didn't think about the connection with people being there for a big event.
Celebration starts on Thursday if it drops on Wednesday.
Interesting.
There's room for something, but and I don't know what the rest of my point was, other than Celebration gives you the platform to be able to announce a surprise.
Yeah. Sure.
And
Yeah.
Andor's finished. Bad Batch 2, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Here's another thing you didn't know is coming. Like, they can do that in the midst of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about losing the point of what you were saying. I have like a migraine tonight, so I've lost the point a couple times.
Oh no, I'm sorry, dude.
No, dude, it's cool. I get it like once a month. So
well,
whatever.
Your version of migraine is my version of empty whiskey glass. So
gosh,
no judgment here.
What were you gonna say though, Garrison? You did look like you were gonna say something.
He said something, and I was gonna. Oh yeah. That tweet. The problem I have with it is it says, "In case you missed it."
Like it's been out somewhere else.
What I missed.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway,
it doesn't seem reliable at this point. I'll put that out there.
No, it does. No, it does not. It doesn't. Yeah, the in case you missed it means it's not reliable at all. And I had a thought too, about announcing shows. I wonder if the thing that the Kiners are working on, and this would be something for next year, obviously, with the success, and people may scoff at this sentence, but with the success, because I think it was very successful, of Visions, I think we're getting a season 2 of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that is the animation style that the Kiners are referring to as being all over the place, and something that we haven't seen before. Because I know that at least a couple of the creators of some of those Visions shows are on the record of saying that they have in their mind a whole story that they want to tell about the characters that they've created.
Right.
I think one of them even said he has a feature-length story that he could tell.
Yes, it was crap. Which one was it?
The titles, I cannot recall the titles at this point. There's no way I'd be able to. I think it's the one where they were all trying to out whoever the Sith was. The Sith had schemed to get all these Jedi in one place. Yeah, I think it was that guy, that particular animator had said that he has a whole story that he'd love to tell. Dude. Yeah. And that would certainly
Ninth Jedi.
The Ninth Jedi. That would be Disney Plus, first of all, is the perfect venue for something like that.
Correct.
Give me a full-length animated in that style movie. I would love that. I mean, that was one of my favorite ones.
Here's the thing. Visions did What If better than What If did What If.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Totally.
And so What If's getting a season 2. Come on, let's give Visions some other stuff. Yeah.
And why not? I mean, it's and they get the prestige of using these animators from Japan and whatnot that are super famous over there.
And giving them kind of free reign to
do what they want to do, and it just brings a little bit of class to Star Wars. I mean, a little bit of visionary minds working on Star Wars is pretty neat. So yeah, I mean, the Kiners are it's cool that they dropped that because it sort of was like a tease that nobody thought we knew that we were going to get, and in a cool way, because that was a really worthy event for them to be on, and to drop a little news like that was neat. I enjoyed hearing about that, so looking forward to whatever that is. I don't know if we'll get it this year though.
Yeah, there's one more thing in terms of shows. Definitely not coming in 2022, but I feel like we have to mention Mando season 3 will likely come 2023. But again, it's something that,
unless episode 1 of Mando season 3, December 29th or whatever that Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the year.
I don't think they're in production like that right now. I mean, I think they are now, but yeah, I don't
know. They've got. I think. Look, it's only March.
And they've been in production since, when was Carl Weathers' birthday? Because on his birthday, he said, we're on set, we're working,
we're on set.
That was at least a month ago.
That was at least a month ago. So,
because it was during Book of Boba Fett when I was on with you guys. So
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that during Celebration they announce that.
And I don't think maybe that's the drop.
Or if they're not going to. If they're not going to do it at Celebration, they could do it at D23, which is like a couple
Andor
months after that.
Going to be the drop, but yeah.
Oh, as far as the date, yeah. I mean, that's a. I need a bit more from Celebration. I need something we don't know about yet at Celebration. They're going to talk about this movie that's going to come out that they haven't taken out of the calendar, which is Rogue Squadron. They have not taken it officially off the calendar yet.
Yep.
And it's got a December 2023 release date. So I think that's happening with Patty Jenkins, even though there was that big brouhaha or whatever. I think whatever needed to happen with her schedule worked itself out. And you and I were talking offline, Garrison, that they would need to start shooting that thing probably by October, November at the latest for it to hit that date.
Yeah.
So
because
there you go.
You've got to be able to get in principal photography, and you've got to be able to do VFX that looks good.
yeah, exactly.
Especially for something like a spaceship movie.
A spaceship movie, yeah.
Well, and I said, and I can't remember if I've said it with you guys before, I think the potential, we said it a little bit for Rangers, and Rangers has fallen more off the table. I think for Rogue Squadron, it stays on.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Teva and Paul Sun-Young Lee.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason for him to be in that 1 minute and a half part of Book of Boba Fett that he was in.
Yeah,
there
was
nothing
cool.
that carried the plot forward other than, hey, remember this guy? He's a pilot. He's in a thing. He's just big enough on that like middle to, upper with Kim's Convenience and the stuff he's done before. Like, he could be a feature part of one of those things. And I feel like they're throwing a couple of bits his way to plug him into something bigger, which of course I would love for that to happen for him. He's such a fan. He's such a good representative for Star Wars. I would love to see him be a part of that.
And his trajectory at this point is up only.
Oh,
because he's got the Last
Airbender
Airbender coming out.
Correct.
I mean, he is the live action one that Netflix is doing for those that didn't know. His trajectory is going up. Flip the Rangers show to him and some people. I mean,
I think there's a couple of different ways that they could utilize, and I think they want to. I think they like him. I think that the stuff he has done has been really solid and consistent and could be built on, which sometimes that's what you need, is let it start small and grow into its own fully formed, developed character.
Yeah, I mean, and there was the announcement that Mary Elizabeth Winstead's going to be in something. We don't know what. Rumor is, well, the stupid rumor that I saw that is just, I don't think is real, is that she's going to be the Cara Dune character. I think maybe they could have her be like a Cara Dune, but not it be the same character.
No.
But she's certainly a big enough name to, if you're going to have a Rangers of the New Republic show, throw her in the lead, or something along those lines. She could easily carry that show.
She could be a big actress in a Star Wars show in general, but
totally
look, if you're gonna find somebody to replace Cara, you need to find someone with that like body type. You need
that's why I think there's no smoke to that. I mean, at all.
Isn't she cast in Ahsoka?
Is she?
Oh, I thought she.
I think she's cast in the Ahsoka series.
Oh, I thought it was just they were saying she was going to be in a Star Wars
I think
show.
I think she specifically has been cast in the Ahsoka series. Now, there's
Okay.
no. I don't
Something
know
that's
for
shooting
what
soon.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That'll-
Ahsoka.
That's where I heard that.
It's Ahsoka.
Okay.
Hollywood Reporter.
Okay. I thought they just said she was in something, but okay. So yeah, that's good for her. I mean, that she'd be. Ooh, she'd be a good villain. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think she has the ability to play a villain, so that would be neat. Oh, Brian wants you to really talk about your Starcruiser thing.
Yes, very quick 30 seconds on the Starcruiser. 2-3 weeks ago, streaming Star Wars, Pete and I had Terry Peters, who reports for Yahoo. She went and did the Galactic Starcruiser experience as a reporter, the press day, whatever. I think it's great. I'm not going to get to do it because I don't have the money to go and do it.
I'm never going to do it.
If you have the money to do it, more power to you. It also feels like if I'm going to spend that money and go spend some time in a Star Wars thing, like I just want to sit in that bar and hang out. And have some drinks and take it all in.
Yeah.
And all the reports I've seen is like that it really is like it's kind of like an escape room. Like there's an itinerary and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. And she even said, she was like, I brought my own like wine and my own this. She was like, I didn't even open any of that. Like it was action the whole time. If I'm spending that much money to go submerge myself in a Star Wars experience, I want to kind of drive that myself. So I want to sit in that cool ass bar, have some drinks that I'm probably going to overpay for, and just like take it all in. I don't necessarily need the gamification part of it. So
right.
If it's your thing and you have the money for it, more power to you. But I'm
Totally.
not mad about the fact that I can't afford it. Like that's just crazy.
Dave on his podcast, Main Street Electrical Podcast. His
co-host,
Jen, she paid the $6,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And, and really
it's just her. It's less than $6,000 for two people. Okay. That the $6,000 thing is like for a family of 4.
She paid whatever she had to pay, which was expensive.
Yeah. It's expensive still, but yeah.
And she really enjoyed it. But again, if you got the money, that's great. You've got to have the money though.
And honestly, I'm not sure if I had the money, that's what I'd do with it anyhow.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. I think I'd go buy a set of like 501st sanctioned stormtrooper armor, or something that I could keep a little bit more. I don't know, but
I think my parents could do it once, but then like every time they look at it, they're like, I could stay at Disney like 4 different times or something to do it.
You could go on like a super swanky Disney cruise for that. I mean,
I'm not angry about it. There's just a lot of other things I'd do with that money.
I think the only thing that's disappointed people that I've talked to about it is the interactive experience where you get to. Oh wow!
Yeah, it's not much less than
the interactive experience where you get to choose what side you're on was supposed to be a part of the Batu in general, and now it seems like
at some point, they had talked about that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, my whole thing with it is, in the first place, I don't like murder mystery dinners or escape rooms. I mean, it's just not my thing, and so I don't know that I'd have a good time. Anyways, I'd rather, if I'm gonna go have a drink in a cantina, I would love to go to that place over in LA and hang out over there.
Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, Scum and Villainy, or just hang out in Batu. And
Same.
That's just me personally, because I'm not really a huge fan of like interactive dinner theater or whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but it looked cool. I thought everything looked really cool about it. But that's a lot of scratch. I just I don't know. So yeah, I mean, so 2023 still gonna have some really cool Star Wars stuff. We know at the very least, Mando season 3 and Ahsoka are shoe-ins for 2023, and then
Acolyte's gonna start shooting later this year.
Coach is going. Nice, dude.
Wow,
I like it.
Acolyte's gonna start shooting later this year.
Oh. Okay, so let's Aussie Nate making a rare appearance.
Wow, school night
on a school night, even. Wow, goodness gracious. So question on this Acolyte series, because we haven't heard much about it since the announcement. Doesn't mean it's not happening, but you would think that we would have heard some casting rumors or something.
I've heard casting rumors.
Okay, spit them out.
No. I mean, they're all like newer people. They're all
okay.
like,
Interesting. I see. I just haven't heard
younger
anything about it since the announcement, and it just, I don't know. That's an intriguing show to me. I mean, that's a very intriguing show to me. The time frame of it, at least. So
the end of the High Republic. Yeah.
End of High Republic. So I guess that would be like going straight into like prequel era. Then at that point, you would think that a show like that would have Yoda in it.
Possibly.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, buddy. I called him out in Discord, I think.
It's definitely not gonna focus on Yoda.
No, it wouldn't focus on Yoda, but you would assume that, I mean, if you're gonna have a prequel era show, that Yoda would be hanging around at that time. So yeah, I mean, I personally am not like totally jazzed about that show, but give me some good casting rumors and let me know what's going on with the show, and I can definitely get on board it if it has some interesting cast. I think we've kind of covered the Star Wars for 2022 and even a little 2023 at this point.
Yeah.
So, Ryfin, where can the people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at Twitter at GRyfin3. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfin. You can find me on the Deucecast Discord.
Yes.
And that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Discord, man, there's a lot going on in Discord, the Deucecast Discord. So if for some reason, like Coach, I don't know that you're in there yet, buddy. So DM the Deucecast if you're into Discord. If you have no idea what Discord is, maybe it's not for you. But we have a lot of fun conversation in there. We're even playing a couple different. That's like a box office game that's pretty fun for those that are movie files that want to try and take a stab at
this week
answering some movie trivia.
Today's number one was really easy. I just saw the studio and the year and the month, and I was like, okay.
No, yeah. So it's a fun little game. And then if you're into March Madness via the Discord, there is a Deucecast March Madness thing going on. So have you not done it yet, Garrison?
Dude, I'm busy. I'm not joking. I took a test today, plus I did a project.
It takes you 5 minutes to put a bracket out there. No,
I took a test. I wasn't prepped for it, and I got a 90 on it. So
no, Brian, I don't care about Wordle. So no, I'm not playing
I play Wordle. Yeah, I've been playing since like early January. So.
I'm not about the Wordle. They sold out. I don't care. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wordle is the Metallica of 2022. That's sold out.
Right.
That's fair. It's over.
Nick, where can people find you, and what shows do we have to look forward this week? If any.
Well, you're in luck because this week is a Podcast of the Wheels week on ATGcast. If you want to find our audio podcast, just search ATGcast wherever you get your podcasts from. It's me and my buddy Pete from the Around the Galaxy show. We've combined streams. We're sharing the load, doing all that kind of stuff. And this week on Thursday, which is not tomorrow, but the next day, is Chapter 6, Return of the Jedi Canon Studies with M from the Pink Milk podcast. And it was a great way to wrap up the show, to have some really good thoughts and digging into, the text of what we had going on. Other than that, everywhere else on social media, I am at WillsPod. You can find me there. You can get to Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on TikTok, but I don't know how to use it because I'm one of the olds. And funny thing about Twitter, I had a very, pleasant back and forth with Papa Ryfin earlier this day. And as a result of doing that and then listening to Garrison make his, plugs about where you can find him, I plugged or tagged him on the Twitter account that he doesn't use because when I looked at it, the last thing he posted was like 2018.
Oh yeah.
So I actually wrote down on my notepad to go find the actual.
Yeah, I changed my ad. And that account that God, this is a long card. I'll talk to you off here. But I changed my ad and I made my backup account my old ad. My bad.
Nice.
Yeah, it's all good.
Anyhow,
all good.
He got a tag on his old account today because I was talking to his dad on Twitter. That's all.
Awesome. I love it. We are all one big happy family, basically, in the Star Wars. At least our Star Wars corner. There's some corners that you don't want to be a part of in the Star
Stay
Wars.
Away.
Yeah, but the corner of the Podcast of the Wheels, ATG Cast, the whatever your dad does. What's the name of his again?
What?
What's the name of his Star Wars
Star
podcast?
Wars Story?
My Star Wars story. Yeah, I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Sorry, but yeah. So he hasn't released an episode in a while.
No, he hasn't.
But rumor is
an episode every 2 years.
Rumor is he's got one He's working on one.
He's got a bunch of different recordings. He just doesn't have the problem. See, look, if I were doing the podcast, I wouldn't edit it as hardcore as he edits it. And he goes like second by second. I mean, good Lord. That's why it takes so long.
Okay. In fairness, it can become addicting because before I joined up with Pete, I just dropped the live full track into the thing and let it roll.
Yeah.
And now I'm like editing and I'm like, I can take out every single time I say I can take out every and so
that's what he does.
It becomes a thing.
He even fixes the guest's speech. Like if they start to mess up or say something wrong. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, anyways, he's got episodes he can drop. Yeah. No, they're great. I love listening to them, but I mean, hopefully he'll release some episodes before the end of the year and make it Star Wars 2022 instead of 2023.
Of course, he did lose some recordings, which stunk, but
the hard drive
failure.
Yeah, the hard drive failure. That's always painful. So you can find me at the Michael Nip on Twitter. I'm on there occasionally, not as often as I am in the Deucecast Discord, though.
Nate's gone back on the recording.
What?
There's no way he didn't make that comment without going back and listening to what was said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good gracious. So yeah, I'm mostly in the Deucecast Discord. I tweet every once in a while, but it's a rarity. Wednesday, so that being tomorrow, we are finishing up, at least for this year, the Oscars series that we've been doing on the Deucecast movie show. We had Roth, who is no longer in the chat because he's stressed out about Wyoming basketball right now. So he's very stressed out about it. They were down by 5 at the half. I don't know what the score is now, but go Pokes. I hope they find a way to win. We are taking a break next week on the Deucecast Extra because we wanted to do our Marvel version of this conversation the day before Moon Knight starts. So we're off next week, but we'll be back on the 29th to talk about Marvel in 2022 as far as the Disney Plus shows are concerned. And we'll probably mention the movies as well.
And bigger list.
Much bigger list of things.
Might have to skip past some shows like, we don't really know that much, but yeah.
We don't know that much, yeah.
I Am Groot is one of those.
Yeah, I Am Groot. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in 2022 happening in Marvel. His QB came from Wyoming. Right on, Fatmatic. So yeah, you got a week off. Go watch Podcast of the Wills or ATG Cast next week. Support those guys. They actually have a Patreon. I get a lot out of the Patreon because I know like the next 5 people that are going to be on Podcast of the Wills and ATG. So there, but I'm not going to tell you.
I was to say at this point we're like 5 or 6 weeks in the can.
You're like crazy. 5 or 6 weeks in the can, and you've got some fantastic guests coming up. Maybe a guy that used to be on the Star Wars show, but I won't spoil anything.
Actually, next week, I'll steal Pete's plug one more time.
Okay.
Because normally we alternate weeks. I have this week M for Canon Studies, Return of the Jedi. Next week we are dropping the 2-part episode with Corey Ryan Forrester, aka the Buttercream Dream.
Yes.
That episode is coming out, and it's actually going to drop, I think, on Monday and Thursday or Tuesday and Thursday. I don't remember which. But we did a supersized episode. So the first episode is going to be us talking about kind of his career as a stand-up comic, how he got into comedy, that kind of stuff. And then the second episode will be Star Wars, and we'll get to, his journey as a Star Wars fan. So those are going to be next week as well. And I have to edit those this week because I'm going on vacation for spring break next week. So I've still got some stuff to do.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt was the lone guy in the chat last week. Thank you for that. And nobody go and listen to that episode. They were very mean to me.
Well, I couldn't hang out because you talked about the Batman, and sadly I haven't seen it yet.
I've got some bad news for you, Garrison. We're actually releasing that as an audio only podcast in a couple weeks. Yes. So
no.
Yes, we are. So that will be on the Deucecast Movie Show feed in a couple of weeks because spring break, and we didn't want to not have something release. So we're releasing the audio. Dave's tinkering with that now. And
the bullying of Garrison episode.
The bullying of Garrison. There was a lot of fun stuff that happened in that episode. Some inappropriate things, but you know what? Such as life.
I almost cussed at one point. Yeah.
Yes, you did. There was a lot. There were 6 people. Was there 6 of us or 8 of us?
There was a lot. Way too many.
There was way too many people talking about the Batman. And once you add Rhett into a group,
nope, you're done.
It's off the rails.
Hang it up.
So that'll be if you're not a YouTube fan or whatever. The audio version of that will be coming out in a couple weeks, and that'll be a lot of fun. But otherwise, the chat
I tried to go for a spicier take than Rhett.
Yeah, that's tough. That's never a thing you want to do. That's just not a thing you want to do.
In trouble.
His back hurts from carrying that conversation. Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun one.
I think I hurt my back from the laughing that I did at the end
of
that
man.
episode. Good Lord.
I wanted to isolate that, and and maybe Dave will. We'll see what happens with that. Yes, Melissa, and there is no stopping him. He is
he's a hurricane.
He's a hurricane. This is true. This is his version of the Deucecast Movie Show's Hurricane Rhett, which he's not on very often. But the chat was really fun tonight, guys. Really appreciate anybody that takes the time to hang out and listen to us live. It really does make the experience so much better for the hosts. It just makes it fun. We will not be back next Tuesday. We'll be back on the 29th talking about Marvel 2022. Otherwise, thanks so much, Garrison. Thanks, Nick. It was fun as always talking Star Wars with you guys, and catch everybody later.